Hey guys, so the brief introduction, this is a bit of take two, but I'll still go through the motions. So Michael Califf, the man they couldn't shoot, root or electrocute, but they tried with this.
Over there, have a look. This is what the face of corruption in Victoria looks like. See the little hackiness?
And comically, I caught them out by doing this. Quick run through of my expertise in the system. As a predominantly hard-working person, worked my life, very hard-working, just a normal everyday person. Heroin addiction after a car accident, opiate addiction took back over and spiraled out of control and brought me through the system, the corrupted Victorian law and order system, and which is why we're here now. So what makes me a little bit unique is they tried to cancel me with all guns blazing in exactly the same things you'll hear about in this. Wonderful story, the Constable Simon Illingworth story you'll hear about on me. After I was interviewed by Victoria Police in a criminal matter, a GEO employed prison officer got himself into circa 2017 by the name of Devon Woodbourne. I mean Devon, no ill will at all. I just say it just to verify. So it's all verifiable. It is complete. Everything I say is 100% fact. I'll stand in front of any judge, court, and no problem. Anyway, they'd rather just do it sneakily like this.
What we're dealing with. You want to question us? We will silence you.
And just try and prevent you from hearing what I have to say. And that, to be honest, from my perspective, should be all the motive anybody needs to maybe have a little listen. You know, once a week, have a little listen. I'll try not to take your time. So anyway, as a perfect intro, nearly, we just had in the news reports of a high-ranking person. So Melbourne, Victoria has been going through literally, and I mean literally, the same issues that 1925 Prohibition era Chicago was going through. Fire bombings, blah, 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 all this type of thing. And they arrested a bit of a main player in that. That's right, a 20-year-old. So a 20-year-old has been holding Victoria to ransom. Now, I'm not having a go at the police. This is a fine example as to why we need to free the resources up through stop the amount of resources, just stop the amount of resources that goes into the nonsense, the lie that is policing drugs is just through the roof, which is why we're here. So, and I know it seems counterintuitive for most people, like we're about to go into now as well, we're about to go into a conservative swing. We're going to get rid of, unless things are too corrupt and we're already gone, in Victoria, the state of Victoria, we are going to get rid of a very corrupt left-wing government, which the best way for me to sum it up for anybody listening in from other parts that aren't Victorian is loosely like this.
Just this title of that rape gang report. Yeah. The idea that there's actual rape gangs in the UK in 2026, and is it being ignored? Is it being downplayed? Like, how is it being received by the media and by the politicians over there?
Well, the history of it is that basically, as you probably know, Britain, after the war, decided they were going to play a part in Europe, a bigger part in Europe. Well, our elite did, the British elite. And to do that, they had to basically diminish the power of the nation state, and they had to...
Loosely a left-wing, dodgy, tyrannical government. Here's the guy. So who conned his way in with all the woke stuff and the union movement and just plundered Victorian taxpayers dry. It's an organised crime riddled mess. It's just never been where pothole roaded, crime. Let me stick to the topic at hand. Why I'm here is to try and prevent that, because clearly we're going to have, now we've got this guy O'Halloran, an ex-42-year veteran of police. He's going to come back, and his best answer is going to be to go harder on the street crime and lock them up and tighten up the bail laws. Maybe he'll throw in a few anti-bikey laws. It will have zero effect on anything, and in another 100 years we'll still be iterating through the same nonsense. So, which is why I'm here, to tell you, at least for those of you who don't know, because a lot of people don't know. They just think, yeah, we'll get there. Oh, gee, we'll eventually arrest, because they're not drug users. They've never seen how openly drugs get sold. They've never seen it. They don't know. They just assume, oh, gee, that's good. They got a Ferrari. Oh, really? $1 million of, where the person really bought the amount they're saying is $1 million. He bought for 100,000. It's all just a big farce. They'll do things like border security, border patrol, whatever that's called, that show. And you'll leave watching that and you'll feel like everyone's getting checked. Yeah. They check about 3% of containers hitting the shores or something. It is just, the entire thing is a farce. The entire drug system is a farce. So here they complain, ladies and gentlemen, about needing to be able to crack encryption. Well, the organised criminals, for the most part, don't even use encryption. They just go and stand over there and say, yeah, get Johnny to pick that up, will you? And that's it. And if you need proof of that, what encrypted app were they using when the CIA was smuggling heroin through the military? What encrypted app was in the Tom Cruise story, American Made? What encrypted app were they using there when he just had walls full of money and there was money? What were they using encrypted app there? Were they? No, of course not. It's just, oh, we need another excuse. Oh, we need another law. Oh, gee, we need this. Don't worry, a politician will come and tell you, hey, if you vote for me, I'll do this. And you're like, yeah, great. He's going to put an anti-fortification law. Okay, yeah. It's all a nonsense. Anyway, and I'm about to show you the nonsense, and I hope it gets through to you, and I mean nothing but the best for the world, but especially Australia and especially Victoria. So please, don't forget, press like, press subscribe, share it around, and all that type of stuff, and between us, we will make changes that we need to make so your children grow up in a genuinely better society, because the one we're going now, what we've been doing now, hasn't been working. That we could all agree on. No matter what you want, you could not suggest, and you could not just blame left wing, don't blame right wing. It is the system. The same system is broken. Anyhow, so let me just give you a few numbers. I put together, so in Victoria, we have 16,000 sworn officers, state police. Let's include the 4,000 total federal police. That's 20,000 police we have. We had, in 1 year, 638,000 crimes reported. There's not even drugs. Now wait, you want to see how they doctor these stats? We have 158 magistrates. You see where this is going? The entire court system in Victoria, in the same year that 638,000 crimes were reported, in the same year that judicial system heard 220,000 crimes total. So there's a backlog of 400,000. That's how farcical your system is before you even begin. That's 400,000 crimes each and every single year. They can't get near. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't. So they do things like just sign off crimes and doctor the books. Anyway, let me continue for now. I don't want to bore you too much. I certainly don't want to talk, sort of sound like I'm talking down on you, but I get a bit frustrated at this. I apologise. We have that. We then, because don't forget, there's a lot of misery. A lot of people are dying. Women selling themselves for their next shot. Women, it's just bad, okay? Bad. Like this bad.
See the extent of the problem, and you can actually pinpoint it in the same way that we've done it in this report. So this is, I think it's linked to organised crime. I think it's linked to the drug trade. I'm pretty sure it's linked to the drug trade, and obviously it's linked to prostitution. So as usual with an evil like this, and you've got girls who are transported around in the back of pickups and in cages, and at our rape gang inquiry we had examples of girls who were raped by dogs and filmed, either anally raped or vaginally raped, and literally watched, filmed, and a lot of it's about servitude and about, there's other stories in here about women having to lick the feet of their rapists. It's about power. It's about servitude.
That's all the drugs and whatnot, that prostitution they speak of in that rape gang inquiry. It's all drug addicted women. I mean, come on. So let me just tell you, we have 8,900 prison beds. That's about, at $150,000 per inmate, that's $1.5 billion per year, each and every year, to keep that prison system nice and full. Where 70% of the people in that prison system are drug related, as in they stole for drugs, they stole for drugs, they sold drugs, they committed a crime for drugs, they were in a car chase for drugs, what have you. 70% of it is drug related. You have 18%, get ready for this, 18% of the population over 14 and a half. And by the look of that, there's a few youngies who aren't in that, and they'll run their wastewater and whatnot, but for 18% of the population, 18% have used a drug. 18% of the population tick the yes, I've used a drug box. Tick the yes, I've used a drug box. 18%. Now, combine that with the numbers I just gave you there of how. What are you going to do? Are you going to click your fingers and give double the police? Have a look here. Look at the police doing their hard-working police. I'm not even going to go at them. Look at them. There's 12 there for one arrest. Now, you got 640,000. It is a farce, and it's not going to be solved unless you hear the truth and people stop and stop giving organised criminals, first and foremost, stop giving organised criminals $50-odd billion a year unnecessarily. That's first and foremost. It has to change. It has to change. Please, ladies and gentlemen, press like, press subscribe, share it around, and between us, we will make change. Positive, decent change in our societies, because we need to. You cannot continue on like this. Where are you going to be in what? You're going to be living, well, look, literally, if we continue on the way we're going now, don't worry about Orwell's world, we're going to look like this. We're going to look like Matt Damon's Elysium. We're going to have these like ghetto communities, all completely avoidable.